Hello, welcome back to the Danifesto. It really feels really good to say that again. Um, if you're new here, hello, my name is Dan. This is my podcast where I just talk about life, ADHD, autism, being a creative, and being neurodivergent. And just trying to figure out things. I'm just trying to figure things out in a way that's honest and actually helpful. Um, and if you've listened before, welcome back. I really appreciate you rewatching it and all that. I want to start off with saying a big sorry. I haven't uploaded a podcast for a long time. The reason for that is my account got taken down for like this Google thing. It wasn't planned or anything. It wasn't expected, and it fully stopped the podcasts. It took YouTube down for a while. Felt out like a bot or something. I appealed it, got it back, and we're all up now. But yeah, it was very frustrating, very stressful, and if I'm honest, it knocked my confidence a bit because it felt a bit personal, a bit of a hit. But the most important part is we're back now, and that's all that matters. Everything is sorted. Podcast is back. I'm back, and this episode is a proper comeback. It's Christmas as well. I say I'm enjoying it this year. It's been very nice. Um, yeah, it's not this time of Christmas. It's not in like a forced way. It's more like the end of year. Everything's starting to come together. Things feel reflective. And I want to do a big episode, so you can just put on the background while you're traveling, walking, gaming, cleaning your room, wrapping presents, whatever you are doing. It's just nice to have it on in the background. This is quite a long episode. You don't really need to listen to it if you don't want to. Well, listen to bits of it. I'll try my very best to have like stamp marks in it. Um, if I don't, so sorry. Might depend on what phone you've got on that. But I'll try my very, 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 very best. But it's gonna be mostly like a radio station, and that's how I'm gonna do it. So I'm not gonna edit it like at all. So if I make a mistake, I make a mistake. I'm just this is coming from the back of my mind. So if you hear some pauses, apologies. But yeah, right. Let's get into it. So let's talk about the comeback properly. Really, the account got taken down. And I'm not going to pretend it was no big deal because it was a big deal to me. On the outside, you couldn't see it, but inside, I was actually a bit scared actually because when you put some all effort into something and it just disappears within like a click, it feels like someone's pressed reset on your work. At first, I didn't even know what to say really. I didn't want to sound dramatic, but I also didn't want to pretend it didn't bother me. The honest truth is, it bothered me a lot, like in school and everything. I had a horrible mix of feelings, frustration, stress, and also that quiet voice that goes, maybe you shouldn't bother. But I've always learned something about that voice. That voice that shows up when you're tired, it shows up when you're overwhelmed, and it shows up if you've had a knock. And it sounds confident, but it's not the truth. It's just a thought. So instead of listening to that thought, I I did the boring, sensible thing. I sorted out the problem. I did the steps it told me to, and I just waited. Very patient. And if you know me, I'm not patient one bit. I want to get right into stuff. I want to get my hands dirty. I just want to be there. Um, and I asked for help when I needed it. Tried to contact Google, but didn't work. And eventually we got back, and we're back here. Now being back, I'm not trying to rush. I'm not trying to prove anything. I'm just trying to make something I'm proud of. If you're listening and you've had something knock out of your hands, like a project, like a friendship, a routine or a goal or something like that, I just want to say you can come back. It might take some time, but you can come back. Alright, let's move on to the main episode. That was just me going a little moan. Okay, so here's the thing. Story number one. I'm going to tell you about being in Liverpool and noticing how different the city feels at different times of day and also at different times of season. So picture this, being in Liverpool and noticing how different the city feels at different times of the day in the moment. I was thinking to myself, why does this feel 10 times louder than it needs to be? And I'm not even being dramatic. It's like my brain picking up every sound at once. Footsteps, chairs moving, people talking, someone laughing, someone tapping a pen, just all them silly stuff. But it all gets to my brain. And it all arouses in my head like it's on maximum volume. And I'm like, just turn it down. But it happens in school as well. Like, the little things get to me when I don't feel well or I'm really, really tired. So that's how I know something I'm not okay, because little things bug me like non-stop. What I tried to do was I slowed it down. I focused on the one thing. I focused on one thing at a time. I said to myself, right, Dan, just do the next small step, not the whole day, not the whole week, just the next small step. Because if you think of life as one big timeline, then you're gonna struggle. You're gonna think of the future too much. But I try to not think of the future and try to not think of the past. Only think of the time you're in now. So yeah, and honestly, that's the trick with loads of things. Because definitely when your brain is racing and you're very stressed, and also when you feel like you're falling behind a bit, don't try to solve your whole life in one thought. Solve the next 5 minutes in the present time. And if you get it, you get it. After that moment, I realised something. It made. Start again. After that moment, I realised something. It made me feel grounded, like this is home, and that matters because it shows me that I can cope even when it's uncomfortable. Not perfectly. I'm not like a hoot superhero, because I'm far from that. Just I can cope. So yeah, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at with it. If you can be in an uncomfortable situation and you can just cope for that few minutes, you'll be fine. You'll be 100% fine. Whether that's in a supermarket, in a class assembly, it could be anything. But as long as you feel you can cope for just that amount of time, you'll be fine. So yeah, Liverpool always feels a bit different at Christmas. The city gets brighter, but also louder. There's a lot more lights, definitely more people, there's more noise, and there's more movement everywhere you go. And it doesn't help that the darker evenings as well make the lights stand out way more. Um, there's actually something really nice that when you're walking through town or driving through the city, but at the same time it can feel really overwhelming. The crowd gets bigger, the shops get busier, and everything feels just more intense. That's for me anyway. You might not get the same feeling, but that's how it feels for me. Um, that means I have to be more aware of my energy and how much I'm taking in. Like the other day, shout out to the Duffs if you're watching. I went out with someone called Millie and Hannah, who are very good friends of mine, and we went to the Christmas markets. I decided to go in the day because in the day it's less intense with it being dark, with all the lights, music everywhere you go, and also the different smells as well. You go to one store and it smells of chicken, and then you go to the other store and it smells of jacket potatoes. You can't really be. It's not stable. Well, stable is the right word to use. But yeah, so many different all your senses are different. Your touch, your smell, your taste as well. But yeah, it can all feel overwhelming. But yeah, I prefer to go in the day where it's nice and bright. um, I try to notice all the good bits as well, because I don't really go at night, but when I do, I take note of the lights. What else do I take? Of the atmosphere. And people say the feeling of something special is happening. I don't get that, but people might have that. So we just have to. Well, I have to respect it and just lead them to it. Right, I'm gonna go on to Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and what's the other one? Boxing Day. Because these are three very different days, and I cope with each one differently. I still haven't mastered it because you can't really practice it because it's only one time a year. But Christmas Eve for me is all about anticipation. There's excitement like in the air, but there's also a bit of like a nervous energy. I try to keep that day as calm as possible. I don't overload myself. I try to stick with a familiar routine where I can, I wouldn't say I'm myself on my own, but where I can, I've got a safe space where I can go and wind down. Christmas Day is the big one, but remember with Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, take it slow. You don't need to go fast and try and get it through it because then you'll just burn out. And on Boxing Day, you'll feel like you haven't enjoyed it. But yeah, Christmas Day, it's the big day. There's a lot happening. There are people that you don't really know or you might know. There's conversations, food, presents, and a lot of surprises. I don't know about you, but I absolutely hate surprises. I need to know what's happening. And that's not me trying to ruin Christmas or anything. But I need to know what's happening. Because if I don't know what's happening, it can, like when someone goes boo and you jump, it's a bit like that. But it could be in a good way. So I could come home and there's like something that I really want. But I'll get excited. But then I'll get upset after. Because it's too much. So I need to know what's coming. So there's a lot happening. I try to cope by taking things one step at a time. I try not to rush at all, and if I do notice myself rushing, I will pull away immediately, and I would retrace I'll retrace my steps and try and get in it again. I try to give myself breaks when I really need them, and if I need quiet time, I take quiet time. I talk like quiet time, but I'm more meaning like if everything's getting too overwhelming, you need to have a safe space. So if you're in town and you're in a restaurant, see if you can stand outside, or maybe go in the toilet. Maybe go in the toilet for like 2 minutes or something where it's nice and calm and quiet. Boxing Day is different again. It's more about. I'm not a big fan of Boxing Day actually, but it's more about like recovery. It's about letting the intensity drop and allowing myself to rest. I try not to plan too much. There's normally a football game on, so I will try and have the times for that. There might be a midday one, I'm not too sure, but there's definitely football matches on Boxing Day, so I'll attend the football match if it's at home, or if I am able to, or I will watch it at home. But it could be any team, and familiar teams, familiar faces. It will be, yeah. That's what I do to try and calm down and to rest. That's my ideal rest day. So yeah, I try not to plan too much on that day, and I let the day be what it needs to be. Also, presents and surprises can be tricky. I've already gone over this, but I've got it on my notes, so I'll go over it again. Because with surprises, it's a bit weird because deep down, I really appreciate the thought behind them, and you know, oh, you've got me this, surprise. But surprises can be overwhelming, and I cope by reminding myself that the intention of kindness, I take my time opening things. Like, I don't rush into reactions. I let myself process things at like my own speed. So on Christmas Day, I used to rush out. I used to have, because I was quite fortunate as a kid. I still am, but I still have. I used to have loads of little presents, so I used to open the little presents all at once. Because normally we did like, I'll have a go, and then my brother has a go, and then I have a go. But yeah, I used to just open mine all at once, and I used to have a big sack full of stuff, and I used to freak out. Being like, what am I going to do with this? What am I going to do with that? And if one thing did not go my way that day, not like I'm trying to be like bossy or rude, but that upset the whole day. One small thing upset the whole day, and I always have that at the back of my mind. Well, even at the front, if one thing goes wrong on a day that means a lot to you, that's not the whole day ruined. That's just one little thing. Don't let one little thing bother your whole 24 hours of that day. That's what you need to. That's what you need to remember. But yeah, I process stuff at my own pace. And also, one massive important thing for me I need to do at Christmas is keeping the magic alive for my little brother Jack. Jack, he's only 6, I think, 6, 7. Very funny. And Christmas is still full of wonder for him. And I want to protect that as much as I can. That meaning that it means joining in with the excitement. Even when I'm tired and overwhelmed, I still need to make room for Jack. So it means like being present. It means focusing on his reactions and tell him how you feel. And I need to see him happy as well. See him express joy, and his imagination go wild. Because that's one thing, I think the school system, it takes his imagination away a bit. So I want to see his imagination when he's nice and young. But seeing Christmas through his eyes, it helps me too. It reminds me why the season matters to loads of other people in the world, if not everyone. Another big thing that's happening is my wonderful big brother Paul is coming back from uni. It's another adjustment. I'm really happy he's coming home, but it does change the dynamic. So that means more people, more noise, more interaction. I cope by reminding myself that change isn't all bad. It's just different, and it takes time for my brain to adjust to that change. But when you find something difficult, you always go to bad, bad, bad. But it's in the middle. I don't think they've got a word for it, but it's in the middle. I'll probably find a word in a minute. But yeah, it's in the middle. So I need to take space when I need it, and I need to communicate honestly, because right now I'm in Paul's room, I'm recording this. So if I needed to record a podcast, that's his room that I'm in. So that's his space. So I don't want to invade his space. So you just need to be mindful of that. Finally, I want to share some tips because I want to help other people cope with stress and anxiety around Christmas. I've been through this 16 years. I'm not a professional or anything. Well, no, I'm not. I'm far from a professional. I'm just doing my point of view in it. Don't fact check me on any of this, please. But first, you need to give. If you're listening to this, and you feel like you're not understood, or at Christmas, and you find it really difficult at Christmas, and it ends up in a mental breakdown every single year. Firstly, give yourself permission to take a break. Give yourself permission to take a break. It's fine to take breaks. Second, don't feel guilty for needing quietness. Like, I don't like most people are like, oh, I need quiet, but I shouldn't. It's Christmas. I should be partying. I should be seeing others. I should be seeing family. I should be, seeing friends. You don't. You take it at your pace. Thirdly, plan ahead wherever you go, whenever you can, especially exit plans from busy situations. Like I said before, if you're in a pub or you're in town or you're in a fancy restaurant or you're somewhere, have them in your mind. So say to yourself, if this situation gets too out of hand, where can I go that will make me feel safe and comfortable? And who can I go to as well? Because if you're under 18 or you might not be trusted to go out or you don't feel safe to go out, then find someone who means a lot to you, who you can trust, and go off that. Fourth, remember that you don't owe anyone perfection. You don't need to perfect Christmas. Christmas has its ups and downs, so you don't need to perfect it. That's with anything. Perfection, just like I'm a perfectionist, something like that. I would say I would like to be one of them because I like everything to just be perfect. Same with in school as well. With me workbook, I just like everything to just be nice and neatly in order. And I just want everything to be, just nice. Just everything to be go nice and straightforward and that. But yeah, remember you don't owe anyone that. And lastly, be kind to yourself. Christmas doesn't have to look the same for everyone. Yeah, that's it. And also, eat as much chocolate as you want. That's all I'm saying. Enjoy Christmas, everyone. And there will be a podcast. I'm going to try and get one out for Boxing Day. If not, the day after. So, keep in tune. And I just want to say thank you for listening. And I hope this episode brings you a bit of calmness or a bit of something that you can grip onto. This has been the Danifesto, and I will see you guys later. Bye bye.